trans women are hosed down with a fire truck for impurity cleansing by authorities in Indonesia. So basically, in the Indonesian province of Lampung, 3 trans women were reportedly hosed down by authorities on Friday evening. Officers from the Public Order Agency, the Satpol PP of Pesisir Barat Regency, apprehended the 3 waria, which is an Indonesian portmanteau for combining the local words for female and male, at a local tourism spot. Then they were hosed down using water from a fire truck. The Satpol PP officers were saying it was a form of mandi wajib, which is an Islamic bathing ritual required to cleanse one off of Junub, the state of ritual impurity after sexual intercourse or seminal discharge. There have been no reports of charges being pressed against the officers over the incident.
Unbelievable. Do you know if what has been the reaction to all this?
The reaction from the Muslim community, of course, has been nothing but support. There have been a few outspoken people, but nobody really from the region, just from more from less Islamic concentrated areas of Indonesia.
What do they think? What do they think they're going to accomplish by doing this? What do they think is going to happen?
Well, this is just a hate crime, but this is nothing new to Indonesia. You know, just a few months back, they were rounding up transgendered people, and they were torturing them. You know, they were holding them in prison. They've done all kinds of horrible things. They've done chemical castration to people. This is nothing new, or even the worst part of what's been going on to the transgenders in the Indonesian area.
And just to remind people, this is supposed to be one of the most moderate Islamic countries in the world, the country that people use as an example of how moderate Islam could be. And this is the best you get with basically within a country that is under Islamic law, as you know. So this is unbelievable. But is there any backlash from outside of Indonesia? Any activists, any transgender right groups coming and speaking? Do you know of any of that? I'm hoping there is.
Yes, there absolutely are. You know, there are all kinds of people, well, even people within our own community who have been talking out about this. But the activists have been. This has been an ongoing battle for activists that have been fighting this entire oppressive movement against the LGBTQ community in Indonesia.
You know, and I know there's a lot of people from our community and outside of our community that say that want to turn this about, oh, there's only 2 genders or transgender. Like they all of a sudden they come out and say, well, transgender people, it's a disease and stuff like that. And I just want to, just tell people that whatever your views are, whatever side you are, whether you think that you're a transgender rights advocate, or you think people that are supporting this, there needs to be a cure for this and this is anti-scientific, whatever side you are, if you're endorsing actually mistreating people like this, you're completely lost, right? Whatever side, like we could have all the disagreements we want to have, and we could have discussions about what's scientific and what's not scientific. But if you're on the side of actually treating people like shit like this, then you're in a completely different camp. Okay, like even when it comes to talking to Muslims or Christians and atheists, even no matter how much disagreement we have with them, among the Christians and Hindus and Muslims, among them, the ones that are not in favor of treating people like shit like this, I see them more as in our camp than any Christian, Muslim, or atheist that thinks it's okay to mistreat people like this. Sure. Whatever people. Transgender right. people, Muslim people, Christian people. If whatever disagreement you have with people makes you think that you could treat people like this, then you're beyond the disagreement. You're beyond that. Let's have discussion. Let's have friendly disagreements. You're basically in the asshole camp. You're so far apart from the rest of us that we're just having disagreements and discussing. You're just a horrible, shitty human being if you think this is okay just because you disagree with people and their views.
Right. This is a dehumanizing act. This is demeaning. This is meant to break people's spirit. This is meant to oppress people, to show people that they have power over them, and that their beliefs and their way of life isn't the right one. And if it wasn't for social media, the Satpol PP uploaded photos of everything going on, of them hosing down these transgendered women, and it wasn't until then that the Human Rights Watch Indonesia shared those photos on Twitter. So it was days after it happened, a couple of days after it happened. And then finally, the Community Legal Aid Foundation came forward and said that it was that the officers' actions were extrajudicial and they weren't legal. This is just an example of not just enforcing the law, but enforcing their own brand of morality and what they think is right. And this is a problem. This is what happens when you allow religious authority to bleed over into government action.
Right, and again, I'm willing to blame Islam and religion as much as everybody, but at the same time, I acknowledge that there are many religious people that would not endorse this, but that doesn't mean that this is not a religious problem. The thing is, but the way religion plays a role here is that there are a lot of shitty people in the world, right? And they might have been shitty with or without religion. But when these kind of people, the people that want to actually hurt other people, the people that get pleasure out of seeing other people in misery, what the role of religion here is, what the role of Islam is here, is that they have a powerful excuse. They have a cover. They have a cover for the fucked up shit that they do, right? And that's how religion comes and plays a role here. And a lot of people want to make an excuse, or like, well, these are just shitty people, it has nothing to do with religion. Yes, these are just shitty people, but religion is adding fuel to the fire. Religion protects these kind of people. And the problem is that whenever you see hate like this, and when you actually go and investigate the real agendas of people and what motivates people to be shitty like this, the thing is that when you look at the research, then people see that maybe people were hateful and their agenda was something other than religion, and they come to the wrong conclusion that maybe religion is not the real problem here. Yeah, the main source is not religion, but religion is the tool used to hurt people. It's not often it's not the goal, but it is the tool, and that's why sometimes these data are misleading. But go on.
But see, I have to disagree with you, because I believe that in many instances it is religion that causes the person to be the asshole. I mean, if you think about it, this guy didn't wake up a couple of years ago with these beliefs, with this transphobia, with this homophobia, with these beliefs. These beliefs were instilled in him from the time he was a child, from his parents, most likely. If not from his parents, then from the leaders of his community. And most likely those beliefs came from other people from generations before that. And you have to ask yourself, what is the source? What is the source of these beliefs, of these attacks? This is just generations of forgive me for using the word, but generations of moderating a belief where just a couple of hundred years ago these people were being killed for the exact same thing. This is just a moderation of a previous action that is based on religious belief. So yeah, maybe this guy would be an asshole otherwise. Maybe he would find something else to be mad about. But this specific instance, this is clearly religiously motivated.
Right, and what I'm saying, you're completely right. More. There are often the example when you go look, you see the religion is actually a main motivating factor. But I'm saying even when it's not, religion is still hurting. Religion is still a negative force, even when it's not the main motivating factor. Let me see if some of the I'll look at some of the comments on On Facebook, you look at the YouTube live chat comments. So the top comment is from Cheryl. Cheryl saying, and this is what happens when any religion has power and influence, law and government. Yep, I agree with that. Stephen is saying, Stephen is saying, religion's a 7th century concept trying to exist in a 21st century society. Robert is saying, I'm from Indonesia. Yeah, that's normal here in my country. So we got some local people confirming this. Anthony is saying, and I'm never visiting Indonesia. Ben is saying Islamic bathing ritual. Yeah, okay, so anything from, so B just saying on YouTube live chat, would it be fair to say that any authoritarian system can make good people do bad things? Well, no, I mean, the problem with religion as an authoritarian system is that it goes into people's hearts and minds. It doesn't just tell people what to do. It convinces people to be their own oppressors.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not just people following legislature and getting away from it when they can, because what you're talking about is from an authoritarian rule is somebody who cannot see what you're doing at every moment of the day. Whereas with religion, you're under the eye of a constantly watching God that knows your thoughts, not just your actions, but your thoughts. So it's a little bit more than just an authoritarian system.
Atheist Republic's mission is to give atheists around the world a louder voice. In order for us to be able to continue the Atheist Republic, we need your help. If we reach 100 patrons, we'll finally be able to afford all our costs. Help us get there.